Hello, Jimmy here, and I wanted to talk to you about my coming out story. Yay! Happy Pride Month! I wanted to talk specifically about my journey into coming out because I originally came out in 2008 when I was 14 years old, and I talked a lot about being bisexual and being interested in women. But kind of my whole life I had been interested in men, or I think I've been interested in men. And then I came out and it wasn't really well received by my family. It was very much, oh, this is a phase. You're doing this for attention. Kind of just not accepting. Fast forward to 2015 when I came out as a lesbian. My family was a little bit more accepting, but it was very confusing for them because I had previously only dated men to their knowledge and that I had never been with a woman. And I don't think you have to be with a woman to know that you're a lesbian, but that's beside the point. This year I came out as non-binary. So I identify as queer now because, well, queer is kind of an umbrella term for someone who likes more than the same sex, or more than the same sex and more than the opposite sex. Kind of people who encompass all sex, genders, and identities. So I came out as queer when I came out as non-binary, and I've realized that it's really a growing situation. So gender and sexuality are very fluid. I feel like my gender has always been non-binary. I used to say that my gender should never come up in conversation. It doesn't matter what my gender is. I'm still a person and I should be treated as a person. So non-binary has always been something that I've thought of. I originally thought I was gender fluid and found out that that doesn't really fit me. I kind of stay femme, but I like masculine traits. And those masculine traits are already within me, but I still do it in a femme presentation where non-binary kind of works for me. Because I really don't think gender has anything to do with how I think, feel, or act, but I do like femme presentation. Being queer in Vancouver and its surrounding areas is a lot safer than a lot of places in the world. And it's something I don't think I could have come out properly if I was still living in the States, because America isn't the most accepting, and where I was a very small town, and the small town wasn't as accepting as, Vancouver is. There's a lot more dating capacity here in Vancouver, which is really nice, and I am trying to date and get out there, but it's a little hard being, well, non-binary. A lot of people don't know what that is, even in the queer community. So my coming out came with a lot of struggle. When I came out as non-binary, my family was very much not accepting, and to this day they still refer to me as she, her pronouns, which is really hard. Pretty much there's a lot of trans eraser in my family, and just because I still have kept my chest and I don't take HRT, my family's pretty much decided, they're femme, they're gonna be femme, and that's just not the case. I do correct them and say that I use they, them pronouns, but it wasn't the best coming out. My friends, however, are very accepting and very understanding. They correct themselves when they don't use they, them pronouns. They refer to me properly. They care who I date because they want me to date good people, but they don't care the gender, and they know that my sexuality is very much a spectrum, and just because I'm feeling something one day doesn't mean I'm feeling something the next day. Within that spectrum, I am polyamorous, and that just means I have many loves and that I date multiple people at the same time, usually having multiple romantic relationships within one paradigm. So that being said, happy Pride, and if you need some non-binary representation, I am happy to be here for you. I am not every non-binary person. Not every non-binary person is me, but we are valid. We are people. We are on the trans spectrum, and I think that's so important. If your coming out story wasn't the best, comment it down below, because I think people need to know that sometimes people come around and they're not always that accepting, but we can always support each other as a community. As always, me and Peaches love you, and have a wonderful day.